You are listening to the Get Global Network podcast of Whole Mind, Body, and Soul, hosted by Lawrence Coutee. You can hear Whole Mind, Body, and Soul Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific Time on Yessurr-FM, one of the original member stations of the Get Global Network.
Won't you wake up, walk in the light. Won't you wake up, bring substance in your life.
Love, peace, and light. You're now tuned into the most informative and inspirational show on a Thursday night, where elevation through education is the goal. You've now got it locked into whole mind, body, and soul. I am your host, Lawrence Coutee. I hope everyone's having a high vibration in the week as we ease into the weekend. A lot of things are happening, coming back in off the old year of 2016 and coming and getting in the groove of 2017. Tonight's show and topic is called The Science of Living in the Moment and the Power of Now. I talked about on a past show about the new year and a new time and new beginnings, and how it's time to really make up your mind on what do you want to do. Make up your mind and understand and settle in and focus on what you really want in your life. A lot of times it's hard to move forward or project our goals, ideas, and dreams when we're so stuck in living in the past. And that's what the show is really about tonight. When we talk about the science of the moment, living in the moment, and the power of now, it leads us to understand that going forward in our life, we can't go forward because most of the time we're stuck in the past. And that's the problem. A lot of times in our lives, we always go back to years that have gone by, something in the past that keeps us in the past. And I'm here to tell you that if you're thinking about the past and you're living in the past, that you cannot go forward to have the future that you really want in your life. You have to understand that you are deserving, you are worthy of this life that you really want to live. You are deserving and you're worthy to have love, peace, joy, happiness, abundance, and good health. You are worthy of that. And if you understand that you're worthy of these things, and begin to organize yourself and begin to think proper, not dwelling on the past in the negativity. Because the science of it is if you're living in the past and you're worried about the future, you're not living in the moment. So tonight's show is about living in the moment. But again, we're so caught up on past, what didn't happen, what should have happened, and what went wrong. And sometimes we get stagnant in our lives because we dwell on our past, whether it's relationships, or career opportunities, or dreams that weren't fulfilled. I should have did this. I should have went to college. I wanted to go to the military. Well, that happened 5, 10, 15, years ago. This relationship didn't work out. So what you're doing is you're sabotaging the relationship that's coming along or that you're in right now because you're so caught up on what happened in the past with your other relationship. And that's really self-sabotaging what you can have and the happiness and joy and love that you can have in your life today. So what we really want to do and understand is if you're going in the past, you can learn from it. But you cannot dwell in the past of something that has already happened because that's just it. The past is the past. What we want to do is live in the moment. That's what we want to do. We want to learn to live in the moment. We can't even live in the future. See, if you're living in the past, then that brings on depression. That is on a low level of thinking of negativity of something that has already occurred, and you're staying on it, and you're regurgitating, and you're revisiting old wounds, old heartaches, old problems. You're living in the past. and it is affecting your present life. It's affecting your future. So we can't live in the past, and we can't live in the future because it has not happened yet. So if you're living in the past, it brings on a bout of depression most of the time. You're depressed, you're stuck, you're not motivated to move on and live the life that you know you should live and know that you deserve to live because, again, you're so focused on what has happened. You're living in the future. You're worried about things that are going to happen, if things are going to work out right. And that brings on anxiety, okay? You're living in the past, brings on depression. If you're living and you're worried about tomorrow and the future, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, you're bringing on anxiety. You're so anxious. You got nervous energy because you're so worried about what's going to happen. It's a Bible verse, and the Bible says, do not be concerned about what's going to happen tomorrow. It says that the birds eat. God provides for the bird. Were you not created over the bird or more worthy than the bird? The bird in nature does not worry about what's going to happen. They understand in the nature kingdom that everything they need is there for them. And that's what's wrong with us today. We're out of sync with nature. We're out of sync with the natural laws of the universe that govern our lives. And that's why this show is so important, because what it does, it gives us a chance to talk on these topics and understand where we're at in our lives right now by living in the moment. Living in the future brings on anxiety. You're so worried about getting this right and what's going to happen, and it brings on a sense of doom and gloom and urgency. I've got to make it happen. I've got to make it happen right now. We get so caught up on what we must do. We're so caught up on what's going to happen tomorrow that we do not live in the present moment. We're not living our lives mindfully. And that's the problem. And we'll understand that it's not about what happened yesterday, and it's not about what's going to happen tomorrow. We must learn to live in the present moment. And that is the spirit, that is in itself a spiritual science. It is something that we all should be mindful of, because yesterday is gone, tomorrow is not here. Live in the moment. You cannot live in the moment if you're worried about what happened yesterday and what's going to happen tomorrow. We must learn how to live in the present moment. And that goes into working with certain types of spiritual practices, whether it's prayer, meditation, visualization, working with, your ancestors, with people that have gone on before you, that are really your guardian angels, if you understood that on a spiritual level, that there are spiritual forces that are always working. The law of attraction is always working. And if the law of attraction says it focuses on what you're thinking right now, it is the vibe that you're sending out right now. You must understand when we're practicing living in the moment and mindfulness, that we need to be aware of our thoughts, because our thoughts is what shape us. Our thoughts that we're having right now is going to control or create what happens tomorrow. And if I'm thinking about doom and gloom and sadness, and I'm thinking about the thing that's going to happen and it's negative, then I might be attracting the thing that I'm thinking about that's negative faster into my life because I dwell on it. There's a verse in the Bible where Job said, the thing that I have feared the most have come upon me. And my thing is, why is Job thinking about the thing that he feared the most? What Job did was attracted that through the law of attraction. What he did was attracted the thing he feared the most. Understanding the science of mind and living in the moment, we understand that if we're going to create a better world for us, if we're going to create a more joyous, happy, abundant, healthy way of living, then that life starts in the present moment. It starts with our thoughts. And the first thing, living mindfully, we must be aware of what are we thinking about. Are we thinking negative Are we thinking positive? And it's important to understand and stop yourself throughout the day and get back on a frequency. If you're off and you're thinking, man, you know what? The job assignment is not going to come out right. I'm not going to have enough time to complete the task. I don't have enough time to do this and pick up the kids, and there's no way that I can pick up the extra job, or there's no way I can start the business because I don't have the money. Guess what? You're absolutely right. It is done unto you as you believe, whether it's positive or negative. It's going to happen just like you think and project. It's going to happen just as you say it. So when you understand that no one is really in control of your happiness, if you believe that God hears you and he answers your prayers, whether it's good or bad, then how can he give you something that you don't even think you're deserving of having? Or how can God give you something that and you're thinking negative of the outcome? That's why constantly they tell you that when you pray, you must take it to the altar and you must leave it there, not worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow. Then that's where the anxiety comes in again. You're so caught up worrying about how it's going to happen that you must begin to release that. Release that thinking about the outcome and know with positive assurity that everything that you want is going to work out for the betterment of it. You've got to think like that. You have to train yourself constantly to think like that. We've got to understand that we are creating our reality based upon our thoughts and our beliefs constantly. Now, the science of living in the moment would tell us to slow down, to be aware, to be in the moment. Basically, if I'm eating, why am I thinking about what I'm going to do after I finish my meal? Mindfulness says to stay in the moment. If you're eating your food, you got to understand that when you're eating your food, that is a very sensitive time. You can upset your stomach by thinking negative thoughts. That's why, and it goes into the science again, who prepared the food? Like my grandma used to say, I don't eat everybody cooking. I don't think that she was saying she didn't eat everybody's cooking because they didn't cook good. She was really saying she understood the science of people when they're preparing a meal. Then when someone's preparing a meal, you got to understand the energy that goes into someone cooking for you. They cooked it with love. If you cook the food with love and you're in the present moment, and when we cook, we want our family to enjoy, and that brings us joy when we see our family eating and dining and having a good time. So when you're preparing your food, you're preparing it with love and energy. Now, the person who didn't prepare their food with love and energy, you don't know what kind of negativity that went into them preparing your food. So I believe that's what my grandmother was saying on a higher level. She didn't eat everyone's cooking because she didn't know who was the person who prepared it. You might not believe it, but there's a lot of science in that. That's why you pray over your food. Not only are you thanking the Creator for your food, but you're casting out any type of negativity that went on in preparing the food. So going back to being in the moment and mindfulness, when you're cooking, when you're preparing the food, you're cooking with love. You're in the moment. You're not worried about what's happening after this. Your whole purpose is to prepare the meal with love, enjoying your heart, knowing that you're going to serve it to your family. It's going to be good, and it's going to make the family happy. The same thing when you're eating your food. You're not worried about what you got to do when you get off the phone. So you hurry up, you're eating your meal real quick. You're not giving your body a chance to digest it properly. Therefore, you upset your stomach. You upset your stomach, it's going to affect your body. Your body be affected, it's going to affect your performance. It's going to ruin your whole day if you get an upset stomach. But it all starts right there, slowing down and taking in your food. Smell the food. Taste the texture of the food. You ever look at someone that's drinking wine or at a wine contest? They don't just gulp the wine down. What do? They smell it. They stir it around. They look at the color. They take a sip. They splash it around in their mouth. Basically, they're taking in the whole experience of the wine, at the wine tasting. All of this is science. It's called being in the moment. And that's little. Eating a meal, having a sip of tea time. Why do you think people have tea time? There's more science to it than them just, we're going to have tea time. No. Tea time is a time you and your friend are there, y'all having tea, y'all are relaxing, y'all are enjoying yourself, and y'all are in each other's company in the moment enjoying a glass of tea. And if you're enjoying a glass of tea, if you're drinking a glass of tea, then you slow down and you're in the moment. You're in the moment of the company. We're having tea. You got to understand that this is science. Living in the moment. Living in the moment. We have to begin to live our lives through that. We have to be more mindful of what we're doing in the present time. Because in the present time, it truly affects what's going to happen tomorrow. Mindfulness. Whatever you're doing at home, if you're cleaning up your house, you should be cleaning up your house. That's really therapeutic. I've talked to women, and I know women that says, you know what, cleaning up my house is therapeutic. Why? Because they're engaged in cleaning the house. They're not thinking about nothing else. They're honed in on the task. It is some form of therapy for them. They don't have to think about this and that. And if they are thinking about this and that, it comes and it goes because they're so in the task of cleaning the home. So it kind of reduces things. Stress, exercise, another thing, being in the moment, exercising. We all know that exercise will burn off calories. It does good for your body, but they'll tell you that it relieves stress because you're building your body, you're taking in the oxygen, you're strengthening the muscles. All of this have effect on the body. If the body's being affected, then the mind is being affected because really the mind controls the body. Everything that you want in your life, everything that's going to manifest for you is going to start on the mental plane first. That's why we go back and we talk about mindfulness. The first thing we have to do in anything is have a made-up mind to know what we want to go, to know what we want to do, to understand what we want to have, and be able to give the energy it takes to bring about the said thing that we desire. A made-up mind, mindfulness. I am aware that doing this, and then after I do this, the second thing I do is this, and the third thing I do is this. The more I take steps to things that I want, then I am in the process of creating and obtaining and having the thing that I desire the most. I am mindful of that what I seek is seeking me also. That's really an affirmation that all I have to do is do the formula of A, B, C, and D. 1, 2, 3. But living in the moment. Okay? We really want to understand that. Because what's happening is you are creating your reality. And the only way you're going to be able to create your reality is being in the moment. You cannot, again, be in the past. You can't be in the future. You must be in the moment. You must begin to strengthen the mind and shun out the past and shun out the future and do what you can do right now. Procrastination is the enemy of success, putting off what you can do today for tomorrow. How can you do that? And procrastination is the enemy of success. It's not that I don't have time. You make time for what you really want to do. Being mindful of that I should be creating and working on my dreams and goals and desires right now. And all of those things will start in the mind. Being mindful. So let me go into meditation. Because if I go into meditation, and I'm not talking about like a guru where you just, in the lotus position with your legs crossed, chanting Om for hours and hours. Meditation can be done walking, going for a walk. We call that walking meditation. Being in the moment. Go out on a trail. Go to the park and walk around. You're in the present moment. Okay? Observe the breeze. How does it feel? Observe the sun. How does it feel on your skin? Look at the sky, how it's glowing. Look at the trees, the colors of the trees. Now that's being in the moment. The reality of it is we live our lives from the time we are born to the time that we transition and leave this earth. And we will ask ourselves, what did I do? Where did all the time go? The time was always there. Everything that you saw around you was always there. You never took time to take it in. That's why they say take time to smell the roses or smell the flowers. Take time to tell your loved ones you love them. Time is something that we can't get back. Time is something that controls us. We are stuck and trapped in time. Learning the science of being mindful and living in the moment understands that there is no such thing as time. There is no such thing as time. And time has us trapped. We're so caught up in the rat race. We got to go to work. We got to go pick up the children. We got to go do the groceries. We got to do this. We're stressed out. We're in traffic. We go. And then we say, I do all of these things. I don't have time to do anything. And I will say, no, you got time. What your problem is, you don't understand time or time management. Because you take out time and you're going to do what you really want to do. What you want to do the most, you're going to do it. I should be working on my dreams. I should be working on my business proposal. I should be working on this and that. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm watching Empire. I'm watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Well, that's a choice. You chose to use your time by doing something that's not benefiting you. You chose to entertain yourself when you could have been working on your goals, your dreams, the things that was going to get you to the next level. That's a choice. Being mindful, being in the moment is a choice. I choose not to be in the past. I choose not to worry about tomorrow. Right now, I'm going to live in the moment. I'm going to work on me. Even when it comes to relationships. We always, I'm looking for my queen. I'm looking for my king. I sure want a relationship. I sure want someone to love. Man, love yourself. Be in the moment of loving you. If you start loving you, the love that you give yourself will attract, it will vibrate and radiate and will attract your partner, your mate, just by the vibration that you're on when you begin to love yourself. Like attracts like. Like attracts like. If you're thinking doom and gloom again, doom and gloom is coming. You're thinking sickness is coming. Why? Because you're on the frequency of that. Being mindful teaches us to be aware of what we're thinking. There's over 60,000 thoughts that run through your mind daily. Over 60,000. There's no way you can keep up with everything you think. I'm not telling you that. You will go mad trying to track everything you think. It's not about that. It's about being aware of the thoughts that you're thinking. I'm going to say that for the second half because I really want to give solutions and stay on solutions to kind of stay in the flow of now and being in the moment to be able to create the world that we want to live in. So I'm going to hold that for the second half and come back in and give solutions. But before I wrap it up, I just want to recap what I've been saying. We cannot live in the past. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is not here. That's the future. Live in the moment. Live in now. Understand the power of now. Understand that up until now, our life it's just been a series of regurgitating, revisiting hurt, pain, things of the past that is not benefiting us right now in the present moment. Or we're too worried about, again, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen next week, what's going to happen 6 months from now, what's going to happen now that Trump is the new president-elect. You're worried about something that you have no control over. What you do have control over is you, your thoughts, what you're putting out there into the universe. You understand what I'm saying? We've got to understand that and understand we have more power than we think we do. We have more power than we think we do. With that being said, as I get ready to go to the break, to the musical break, when we come back, we're going to look at some of these things and how can we affect our lives going forward by controlling our thoughts and being in the present moment. Right now, I'm getting ready to get into the vibrational sound. You're listening to Whole Mind, Body, and Soul, and we'll be right back. You've now got it locked into Whole Mind, Body, and Soul on the Get Global Network. You're back on Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. Today we're talking about the science of living in the moment, and the power of now. Quick recap. You live in the past, you stay in the past. You live in the future, well, you're setting yourself up for failure because you're worried about something that haven't even happened yet. We're talking about living in the moment, living in the present time, and how we can begin to focus, how we can use certain tools that we can live in the moment with that will begin to create our future. So we got to be mindful of living in the moment. And what we're going to do is look at some of the things that we can do that begin to put us on the frequency of living our life. Because so many times we go through this life and we don't live, we just exist. And the more we don't work on our dreams and our spiritual house, the less life has meaning for us. We find ourselves getting into dark places, maybe going through depression because, again, here we go. We're living in the past of thinking about things that didn't go right in our lives, relationships that didn't go right, job opportunities that didn't go right, you know. You got to understand that you are right where you need to be right now. As bad as you think it is, the hard time that you're going through right now is preparing you. It's preparing you for your greater self. And all we got to do is learn from it. We got to be mindful. Living in the present teaches us mindfulness. One thing we can do is be aware of what we're thinking. Be aware of what you're putting out to the universe. Be aware of what you're communicating to the Creator. Because all the Creator, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is just going to give you back what you think you desire. Remember, the Bible says that it is done unto you as you believe. If you believe that you're supposed to be like this and suffer, guess what? I can only give you what you believe. That's why it's so important for us to understand the power of mind, the mind science, how to control our thoughts, how to understand the law of attraction. Again, the law of attraction doesn't care if you believe in it or not. It doesn't care. And you should want to learn about the law of attraction, especially if it says what you put out, you will get back. Most people only understand that as karma. Karma really don't mean that. We'll do a whole show on what karma really means. But you've heard about it all throughout your life. With the Bible saying, you reap what you sow. You've heard that. So what are you sowing? What seeds are you sowing when it comes to living in the moment? What are you thinking about in the present time? I'm not talking about the past. I'm not talking about what's going to happen tomorrow, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 5 months from now. I'm talking about what are you sowing right now? What are you thinking? What positive thoughts are you thinking right now? Because, again, what you're thinking right now is going to affect what happens tomorrow. This is law. So mindfulness teaches us to be aware of our thoughts. Again, I'm not saying that you have to be aware of everything you think. I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is if you know you're on a very negative vibration, meaning if you know that today has not been a good day, it didn't start out good, I got up late, I stopped my toe on my bedstand, I couldn't find my car keys, I'm in traffic, you know what I'm saying? I'm late for work. You got to understand that everything that I just described, everything that happens to you during that day started out. Your day has begun to snowball out of control. And it's reacting and giving you exactly what you want. I'm going to be late. I know I'm going to be late. I know I'm going to be late. Guess what? You're going to be late. Because even if you wasn't going to be late, you get on down there and now you got to go through a school zone. Or the bus done stop, you know what I'm saying? Or there's an accident, okay? You put it out there. Y'all, this stuff is real. It is not going to hurt you to understand the law of attraction. And living in the moment says that I am aware of what I'm putting out there. Negative thoughts that I'm putting out there will come back and affect me. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but that seed is out there. Living in the moment, living in the power of now teaches us to plant good seeds so we can reap good fruit. How do you do that? You begin to think positive. I'm going to get the promotion. I see myself getting the promotion. I see me and my father's relationship, me and my mother's relationship was bad, but I see it's going to get better. We're going to work through that. Or whatever. You're planting good seeds. You're in the moment. You're living in the moment. And you know that the good that you do today will come back to you tomorrow. Okay? Again, it is done unto you as you believe. That simple. As above, so below. It is done unto you as you believe. Okay? On earth, even as it is in heaven. On earth, the mind, the body plane, the earth plane, going through the moment, as it is in heaven, is talking about the consciousness, the mind, the thought, the universe. So if it's done on earth, even as it is in heaven, it's saying that you are creating it. You're creating it in the heavenly realms, in the planes with the thoughts, the vibration, the mood you're on. Living in the moment said you got to be aware of your anger. You got to be aware of your depression, and you've got to begin to change it. Like I said, I'm not worried about you monitoring your thoughts all day long. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying if you know that you're thinking negative thoughts, you're being negative, and you know you're on a negative vibration, change it. It's all right if you slip. It's all right if you fall. The point is not staying there. To get up. To constantly remind yourself that you are creating your reality based upon your thoughts and the vibration that you put out there. Being mindful, living in the moment, you're planting good seeds to reap tomorrow. So just being mindful of the thoughts that you put out. Being mindful in the moment on how you treat others. Again, what you do will come back to you. Being mindful how you talk to people. Being mindful of how you treat people. Something that you could have did for someone that wasn't going to hurt or take away from you, and you had an opportunity to do something for someone and you didn't do it. So why are you mad or surprised when something doesn't go your way, someone doesn't give you an opportunity, someone doesn't give you something that you really want? Because the law is saying, well, what have you done? Because you're only getting what you put out. You didn't put nothing out. So how can you get something? Being mindful, living in the power of now tells us to be aware of how we treat each other, how we treat people that we see every day, people in our family, people who we work with. How do you treat your coworkers? How do you treat your friends and your family members? Being mindful of that. Okay? Being mindful, being in the moment. Get outside. We stay in these homes too much. We stay inside too much. We don't get out. We don't go for walks. We stay at home. We're on the computer. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're doing this. We're being entertained. We're playing games. When was the last time you just went for a walk? When was the last time that you felt the breeze? When was the last time that you went outside right before the sun was beginning to set and you looked at how beautiful and golden the sky was, how beautiful the clouds was as the sun was setting in the west? When was the last time you got up early, a little bit early, before you had to get up, and you watched the sun rise, a beautiful sunrise? And right then and there, you were in the moment. You were in the moment. You saw the beautiful glow. You saw the clouds, and then all of a sudden, you could see the sun beginning to come up. It began to peak. And you watched it, and 5 minutes went by, and you could see the sun starting to rise. That's beautiful. How many times have you went outside and saw the birds play? How many times have you went out there and saw the squirrels or any type of nature that's around you and lived in the moment? Some of the most magical things will happen when you begin to get out in nature. That's a very powerful tool that you can use to be in nature, to be aware of your surroundings and be able to pray and be at one with nature. Because really, when you're at one with nature, you're at one with God, because God is nature. God is in the tree. God is in the wind. God is in that blade of grass over there. He's in everything because she is all in all. Everything is energy. That's why you can talk to plants. That's why if you got a plant in your house and there's negativity around, that plant will die. But if that plant is in a house with love and you talk to plants, plants have an intelligence. They actually understand communication. That might be heavy for some of y'all. Go do your research. I've done it. I've had a plant that was about to die, begin to nurse it, talk to it, feed it, give it good sunlight, but basically talk to it. Because the plant is a living organism. The plant is alive. And you see some people with these beautiful plants, and you see them up there talking to them. You don't understand that the plant itself is alive. It is a living organism. It feels. And you can believe it if you want to. Or you don't have to believe it. The point is being in the moment of now. Not worried about tomorrow, not thinking about the past, but enjoying a day. Enjoying a day with the family. We're going to go out and we're just going to eat out at the park and we're going to enjoy each other. Start living your life. Start planting those seeds of love. If you want love, in order to get love, you must first give it. In order to get respect, you must be giving respect. You got to give respect in order to receive it. This is law. What you put out comes back to you in some form or the other. Being mindful, being in the mindfulness. That's why meditation is so important. Because meditation teaches us to quiet the mind. Practicing meditation teaches us that I'm not thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow or the next hour. I'm not thinking about what happened. Meditation teaches us how to be in the moment. Again, I'm not saying get up there and you got to, cross-leg and you got to go for hours and hours. The point is to be mindful, to be in the mind, to clear the mind of clutter. They say the mind is like an untrained monkey. You try to quiet it and then another thought pops in. I'm going to do a show about the science of meditation, how to meditate. Again, you can walk and meditate. You can be in nature and meditate. When you're going for your evening walks, You're out there. You're in fresh air. You're not thinking. Your mind's not cluttered. You can really commune with the source, with the universe. Walking meditation. I'm in the moment. I'm walking and I'm communicating with my higher power. That's a form of meditation. So meditation is not always sitting cross-legged or sitting in a chair or on bending knee, communicating or quieting the mind and doing some type of posture. It is really just centering yourself. Centering yourself, taking everything inward. Inward. What you seek is inside yourself. Ye are the kingdom. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Going inside of yourself, being aware of in the moment and being able to commune with your higher power. Meditation. You do the work in your spiritual house inside, and then everything will begin to happen around you. All you have to do is try it. Being mindful and meditation. Another thing, finding something that you enjoy doing. We live our lives and we go to work, we come home, we might go out every now and then, we're running and ripping and running. Find something that you really enjoy doing. Some men like going fishing. Some women like taking up pottery classes or learning how to take a cooking class. Anything that gets you out of your normal routine is good. You're living in the moment. Be spontaneous. There is power in being spontaneous. Just get up and go sometimes. Grab the car keys and just go for a drive. Go for a country drive. Find a rural place and just drive sometime. Take in the trees. Go out to the farm. Go out to the rural parts of the country. Stay on the road. Be careful, of course. You know what I'm saying, when you're traveling. But go out sometime and take a country drive, man, and take in, what all the scenery and the trees and the beautiful fields. Man, that's calming and soothing. Get up and go. Be spontaneous. Go do something. Go take a new class. Go start a new hobby. You understand what I'm saying? Go dancing. Go learn how to swing out. Go to swing out classes. I says, man, I don't know if I like it. Just sometimes you got to do it. How do you know you like it and you haven't even tried it yet? Life is for the living. And I think I want everyone to understand that. We're so caught up, again, what didn't happen, what happened in the past, and what's going to happen in the future. Again, we miss life. Life passes us by. We didn't go after our dreams. We didn't do this. I wanted to do this. I should have done it. Guess what? What's stopping you now? And don't tell me it's your age, and don't tell me it's your money. Man, those are excuses. If you really want something, go get it, and don't let no one tell you you can't have it. You've got to understand that. You've got to understand that. You've got to go after whatever you want, whatever you desire. Okay? Be mindful. Children. I got a 2-year-old right here, and you're going to hear it, and I want you to hear it because, look, guess what? She's not worried about nothing. You think she's worried about what she's going to eat, what she's going to do? All she got to do is sit up here and play, have a good time, use her imagination. She's living her life. She's in the moment. And there's something about a child, because you'll understand that a child has an imagination. Imagination is power. It really is, because you can't tell her that she doesn't have magical properties. You can't tell her that she can't do anything. And she's 2, so she's at the point right now, I can't tell her to do anything because she's strong-willed. She came to the planet. She's getting her faculties together, and she's exploring. She's exploring this world. She doesn't understand that she can't do anything. It's not because the child is bad, per se. It's that they came here as a spiritual being, incarnated into a body, and they're trying to learn and navigate through this physical plane, this third-dimensional plane. Children will keep you young. If you don't have any children, go volunteer. Be around children, because children will bring back energy and vitality in your life. Go volunteer. Go volunteer with children. Go start an organization. If you can't find an organization to belong to, go start one. Go visit a elderly center. Go out there and be with the elderly and listen to them tell their stories. Fix their hair. Put on some Marvin Gaye or some music they love to see. Give your time. Give love. Give compassion to other people. Go in your closet. Go in there and get all those clothes that you can't wear no more and you're going to get rid of and you need to get rid of them. And give those clothes away. Give something away. In order for you to receive, again, the science of living and the science of attraction, the law says you got to give something. Go give something. Whatever you got to do to open up these magical properties and to get energy going, do it. And be mindful of the life you're living. Be mindful that you're planting good seeds. Be mindful that today I'm going to start to live my life. I'm not going to live my life based upon things that happened to me 5 months ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm making up my mind that my life starts right now. That I am really in control of what I want. I'm in control of my life. And all I got to do is begin to live in the moment. Begin to live in the now. Begin to look inside of myself. Begin to understand that happiness is a frame of mind. Happiness is a frame of mind. Joy, happiness, love, peace, all of that stuff starts in the mental plane. Then it manifests itself into the physical. So the power of mindfulness and the power of now tells us that everything that we want to manifest starts with the mind, the made-up mind, the positive mind, the planting of those seeds, planting the seeds of love, planting the seeds of prosperity, planting the seeds of what we really want and what we really desire. All of that stuff can be attained when we're mindful of where we're at right now and begin to put forth effort and going after what we want, but first being mindful of where we're at. Accept it. I'm not where I want to be in my life. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to dwell on it. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're not where you want to be. Okay, something happened years ago. Okay, that's fine. You're worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. That's fine too. But if you learn to live in the moment, learn to plant those seeds of love, peace, good health, prosperity, love, and abundance, begin to plant those seeds today, that it will bring forth the fruit that you want tomorrow. It'll bring forth the life that you want tomorrow if you're mindful, if you live in the moment. And in the moment, I choose to feel love. I choose to feel abundance coming into my life. I choose to have good health. I think of nothing but health, good health. I see myself whole. I see myself healed. I see myself vigorously. I got more energy. And all that started with just me starting to think those thoughts and being in the moment, being in the mindfulness of that, you know what, I can't control what happened yesterday. And I can't, you know what I'm saying, worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. What I can control is my thoughts. What I can be in control of is my mindfulness. I can be in control of what I'm thinking. I can control that all day long. And if I understand the science, and if you understand the science, then you will see that your life will begin to turn around. Things that you wanted, you'll start meeting people. People will start showing up in your life that'll help you get to the next level. Begin to work with those affirmations. What I'm seeking is seeking me also. My word is my wand. Abracadabra. I create what I speak. This is a magical life. And when we understand it, we don't have to suffer because we suffer from ignorance. Your suffering and your lack is due to ignorance. We're not in those times no more. We're in the time of Aquarius where all knowledge is going to come forth. Teachers are going to start coming to you. You're going to wake up. There's something happening right now. Tonight is a super moon, a wolf moon. The wolf moon talks about new beginnings. The first full moon of 2017 is a wolf moon. Go Google and understand what a wolf moon is. Again, you don't have to understand these things, but be aware of it, because you're not going to be given a pass because you're ignorant. Oh, I didn't know. You can't. That's not going to be an excuse anymore. You ran across someone. You've seen something on the internet. You ran across a video where someone was talking about the power of positive thinking. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, The Secret. You heard these books. These books are multi-million-dollar and bestsellers. There's not going to be an excuse anymore. You're listening to Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. Tell someone about the show. Share what you hear on the show. Pass on the podcast to someone else. That is why I do it. Because the days of suffering is a choice. Life is nothing but a series of choices. That's all it is. You choose to do this or you choose to do that. The sum total of your day on this earth plane will be about the choices you made. And what I'm here to tell you is that you don't have to wallow. You don't have to stay where you are. You can start right now. You can make up your mind right now. Everything happens with a made-up mind. Decide right now what you want in your life. Decide right now of the happiness and the joy and love, peace, good health, and prosperity and abundance of money that you want in your life. Decide. Make that choice. Do it for yourself because you deserve it. Do it for yourself because you are worthy of these things. I came that you would have life. What do you mean, Christ? I came that you would have life, not only life, but life more abundantly. That's a promise that I've made to you. Okay? Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Well, what is the truth? You've got to understand that you don't know the truth. You were never given the truth. They didn't want you to know this. That's why the woman named the book The Secret. And she was saying that people have been talking about this since the beginning of time, understanding how thoughts become things. They didn't want you to know that you can change your life by thinking. Because I'm not telling you all you got to do is think positive thoughts. No, I'm telling you to think positive thoughts. Get out there and do the action. Faith without work is dead. Nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. I'm not telling you to sit around the couch all day, think positive thoughts. I'm not telling you that. What I'm telling you is begin to understand the power of thought, the power of being in the moment, not worried about what happened yesterday, not concerned about what's going to happen tomorrow. Think good thoughts. Give. Understand the universal law of reciprocity. The law of attraction. What you put out, you get back. Understand these things. Get up and go after what you want, whether that's love, whether that's good health, whether that's peace, abundance, money, friendships, and all walks of life. You can have all of that. If you control the way you think, the way you treat others, and get up and start walking in the direction that you want to go and what you want to have, these things will begin to come to you when you have a made-up mind and begin to live and master living in the moment, in the power of now. Expect the best. Think positive. No matter what's happening to you, no matter what you're going through in your life right now, think positive. If you're thinking negative thoughts, snap out of it. Get back on a higher vibration. And you will start to see things begin to move in your life. You will begin to see that life is what you make it. God wants the best for us, but he can only give us what we want for ourselves, what we expect. We expect good, he can give us good, but he can't give you anything that you're putting out. You're putting out this doom, gloom, negative. It is done unto you as you believe. The Bible says that. So how can God, again, give you anything okay, that you don't even want for yourself, because you're the one that's putting it out there. You're the one that's looking at everything negative. I'm telling you, you can get off of that cycle. You can stop living in the past, and you can stop worried about the future. You can begin to live in the moment. You can begin to live in the power of now and manifest all the dreams that you've ever desired, and they will come. They will come just because you believe they will. It is about the power of your belief that makes it whole. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Thomas Ford. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. It's whatever you say. It is done unto you as you believe. I'm telling you, as I wrap up this show, it's the new year, 2017, whole mind, body, and soul. We're going to turn it up another notch. We're going to be bringing you some of the most phenomenal guest appearance on the show. We're going to be doing podcasts. We're going to be doing psychics and spiritual fairs and retreats. We have a lot of powerful things planned for this new year. I'm so excited. I'm so thankful that you guys are checking me out, checking the station out, and I'm hearing feedback from you guys. I do this because of you. I really believe that I was put here in this day and time to walk this path, to give you this knowledge, and to be able to assist you in any way I can. Understand and learn and master living in the moment. In this moment, I am love. In this moment, I am light. In this moment, I am happy. In this moment, I am healthy. In this moment, I am abundant. In this moment, again, I am love. Thank you for listening. I look forward to being back on next Thursday, same time, same channel. You've been listening to Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. Until next week, peace, love, and light.
You have been listening to the Get Global Network podcast of Whole Mind, Body, and Soul, hosted by Lawrence Coutee. You can hear Whole Mind, Body, and Soul Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific Time on Yessurr-FM, one of the original member stations of the Get Global Network. Listen to Yessurr-FM and other member stations of the Get Global Network on the go by installing any of the Get Global Network apps, like So Metro Magazine, Grassroots Salute, Agtown Nation, or Big Red Radio Nation for your cell phone. The apps are available for download on both Google Play and iTunes app stores. Take the time to subscribe to our podcast via iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, or the Spreaker Podcast Network.